Oppenheimer premieres in theaters nationwide today. Ahead of the opening and before the actors' strike began, Joe sat down with Nolan and Oppenheimer star Cillian Murphy to discuss their collaboration on this summer blockbuster.
I wanted to ask you, Christopher, about sort of the return of the summer blockbuster. And, we grew up Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, Back to the Future, Ghostbusters.
Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, Empire Strikes Back. We've really moved away from that. I got a sense yesterday for the first time that this is a movie that's really going to draw people back. And this is like the return of the summer blockbuster, isn't it?
I think there's always a wonderful place in the culture for the big screen. For Oppenheimer, I chose to shoot large format film, IMAX film. We want to put that story up on the biggest screen possible, bring people together, and have them go through this man's extraordinary experiences, the crazy paradoxes, the great drama he found himself at the center of. You can really give the audience a feeling of what it's like to be present, the experience of what must it have been like to see and hear and feel the unleashing of nuclear power for the first time.
But the soundtrack also played such a central role in this movie, especially toward that blast.
It's phenomenal. Well, I think Chris has always used music so extraordinarily in his movies, and sound, and I think this for me, this movie takes it to another level.
Ludwig Göransson did the score, and his wife Serena is a violinist. He started doing experiments with Serena and producing these incredible sounds where they would take things like they would do sort of horror movie-like clusters, but then coming together in harmony.
It's always a thrill when I see one of Christopher's movies to know that you're in there, but there's been this incredible reign. You've taken the lead role,
yeah.
And not just any lead role, but a lead role in one of the most defining figures, really, of our time.
It was an absolute gift, and I didn't expect it. Like, I know the way Chris works, and I know what he expects. I know the level of excellence he expects, and that kind of rigor that he demands, and the amount of prep that he demands. And there's just so much information out there, so you have to choose carefully about what you absorb. There were so many elements to it, the physicality, the voice, the kind of iconography of the hat and the pipe, even the way he walked, all of these things. But we just worked at it in detail with each other over that period, and it was really rewarding.
Talk about the community. I mean, you guys all worked together. Emily Blunt said it was like summer camp.
Maybe for her.
I was going to say maybe for her, but she said everybody would come together and eat at the end of the day.
They had a few margaritas, but I didn't. And then in terms of the ensemble of actors, I mean, for me, it was every single day was a gift. Like working with Emily, who I worked with before, and so I think that really helped give the history to Kitty and Oppenheimer.
It's quite a coincidence. This biography, Kai's biography, is in 2006. Walter Isaacson wrote the Einstein biography in 2007. And of course, the two connect throughout the movie. But the thing about Walter's biography of Einstein that fascinated me so much is he said, Einstein wasn't the greatest mathematician. He wasn't the greatest guy in the lab, but he visualized things, like the theory of relativity.
In making Interstellar, I collaborated for a long time, very productively, with Kip Thorne, a Nobel Prize-winning physicist. One of the things that Kip taught me is that physics is not all about math. It's also about intuition. And the intuition of physicists is not entirely unrelated to the intuition of artists. Absolutely key to Oppenheimer, because it's about relatability. That's a very important part of the breakthroughs that have changed the world.
Here we have this guy who's brilliant, and yet he needs his wife to tell him, get in there, keep fighting. It seems at times his head was in the clouds. His wife kept saying, fight, fight, fight. Oppenheimer had that blind spot, didn't he? He was an idealist, and it may have caught up to him politically.
In terms of Oppenheimer leading the Manhattan Project, he certainly wasn't the obvious choice. And they called him the great synthesizer, Oppenheimer, because he could, there was many things he could do, and he could put a lot of things together. But he wasn't the natural first choice. But then when they gave him the role, he was extraordinary. And Kitty saw that in him as well. That's why she really pushed him. They sustained, that relationship sustained, and they really needed each other. And from the outside, it would appear entirely dysfunctional.
There's a really morally complex film where, as the protagonist gets closer to his goal, it's not like The Right Stuff where, hey, Chuck Yeager breaks the speed of sound. Yes, that's a real man. And the audience applauds. As you get closer, you sort of have this sick feeling in your stomach because you know it's about to happen. But there's that great line with Oppenheimer and his friend where his friend says, can we trust ourselves with this? And you wrote in there, Oppenheimer said,
I don't know if we can be trusted, but I know the Nazis can't.
The key thing when you study the history of the Manhattan Project and where that went, as you start to look at the specifics of the genesis of the project, there are a few surprising things that become apparent. The first being that it was the Germans who split the atom prior to World War II. And so there's a race that starts. As it becomes apparent, what's going to happen with the Nazis' quest for world domination, for all of the evil they're unleashing on the world, they also have the best physicists in the world. They had to do this, and they had to do it before the Nazis did it. And you want desperately for them to succeed, and yet that success is so double-edged and so complex.
Can you talk about the timeline of this movie? How accelerated?
So we had to shoot relatively quickly, but what myself and my director of photography, Hoyte van Hoytema, what we figured out early on is the energy of this story all comes from the performances. So we sort of went back to an earlier period in our careers where there's no monitors, no playback, no fussing around. We're really just putting the actors into the scene, experimenting with it for a couple of hours, and then throwing a camera on it, and then moving on to the next thing.
It's a 360 set,
Yeah.
and it's like, it was just, when I walked down it, you feel like, it just hits you.
Right.
The reality of that, they threw this town up in the middle of the desert, out of nowhere, because that's where he felt romantically attached to this place. It was amazing, but that's always the case with Chris's films. There's, the actor experiences the world as the character would, and it brings something to the performance.
And again, Oppenheimer was, he was this brilliant scientist, and yet he was so disconnected with really what was going on during that time, because right after the war, suddenly the attention does turn to the Soviets.
I think, he was, after Trinity and after what happened in Japan, he was this kind of one of the most recognizable people in the world, and then slowly he had to reposition himself afterwards and try and figure out where he stood about it all. And it's a very unusual journey to take for the actor, sort of morally. Right. And it was really interesting to play that. And I think it's much more human, because none of us are like clear-cut and definitive in what we believe to be right all of the time.